Hello, everyone. Welcome to Manifestation with Human Design. We're going to be creating our vision board today, but first, let's set the mood. All right. I'm Brittany Rose Green, your resident relationship coach inside of the premium membership Ignited. If you're seeing this because you bought it a la carte or in a bundle or just wherever you happen to find it, welcome, welcome, welcome. So first off, like I said, scale it back, hang on, set the mood. So I got some music going on in the background. I have always wanted to manifest a trip to Spain. So I'm playing a little flamenco in the background, y'all. I have a beautiful candle, eucalyptus and bamboo. Get those senses going. I have my stones. So I have a little love stone, rose quartz. I have a citrine, which is great for manifestation. I have an aventurine, which is also really great for manifestation. And I have like a lot of stones. I have this angel, I forget, it's like angel something. I forget the name of it, but it's basically, it helps with connecting to your higher self. And then this sunstone, which is helping you connect to your inner authority, your power, your confidence, and all of those things. These are just the ones that spoke to me today for the specific exercise. I like to have, honestly, I just like setting the scene. I'm a Taurus through and through, so I really love having really beautiful things at my disposal, especially when I'm dreaming big and I'm really feeling into my future, like where I'm headed. Manifestation days are super fun. So I love to like set the tone. So today I have some beautiful tea, some turmeric ginger tea with a little honey. If it was after 5 o'clock, I might have a cocktail or a glass of wine. But here we are. This is what we're doing. I put on an outfit that I love. You know, I zhuzhed up my face and made sure my hair was done and put on my special earrings. And there's something about just setting the tone from that space where you're getting into the feeling and the excitement of manifesting what you want and visualizing it with your whole heart. So first, let's get into human design. I had you guys print this out or bring this with you, look over whatever you need to do. If you've never seen this chart before, it looks really weird, kind of scary, and very overwhelming. At least it did when I first saw it. So don't worry, I'm going to give you some key elements to look at your chart through specifically for this exercise and some things that you can use, just to kind of learn more about yourself. Because as you know, these they're down to the birth date. So I like to describe the human design chart. So I'll turn the music a little bit. I like to describe my human design chart as like an Enneagram meets astrology. So it really helps me understand personality and how it matches and mirrors with the stars and my bigger purpose and how I'm supposed to express myself and the energy that like the way I operate the best. It's almost like the mechanics of being a human being. That is me. And the mechanics that being a human being that is you and how we can interact with one another in a healthy, safe, and collaborative way. Human design is very collaborative, which is why I love it. And since we're in CHS, the collaborative healing spot, it all just kind of falls together. So I discovered human design back in like 2019. And this is like when I just got lost on YouTube one day. I don't even know what I was looking for, but somehow I stumbled up on this crazy thing, right? And, I've taken as a therapist, as a clinical psychologist, well, no, not psychologist, clinical therapist, sorry. I have taken Enneagrams, Myers-Briggs, the big ocean, like 5, big 5 or whatever. And none of those personality types or tests, that were created like in the 50s really spoke to me. I felt like they were putting me in a box and I felt like I was so much bigger than that. And there was so much more to me than just these tests. So when I discovered human design, I was like, I'm not one of these things. So I had a lot of resistance, but there was something that told me to like look into it. And since it was simple, like an astrology chart, where you just like put in your birthday and like where you were born, and then it presents you with all this information where I didn't have to actually answer a test. I was interested. I was into it. It was easy. And to my surprise, learning my type and my inner authority and my profile And like the way that I best operate was like very, very, very congruent to the experiences that I've had growing up and that I've had for most of my adult life, if I'm honest. So I'm a manifester. You will find the type in the corner right there. And there are 5 types. So there's manifester, there's generator, there's reflector, projector, and then manifesting generator. And the Manny Gen kind of has a combo of both, obviously the manifester and the generator. The most rare out of all 5 is the reflector. It only makes up about 1%. If you have been with CHS for a while, then you may have met Coach Juliana. She's like a business coach, like a transformation coach, and she's the only reflector I've ever met in real life. And it was so cool hearing her perspective and seeing how she kind of viewed the world and how she viewed helping her clients through business through the lens of being a reflector. And then there's a projector, which is kind of, they're the teachers on the planet. So reflectors, sorry, I told you what the percentage was. A reflector is someone who mirrors back. They don't really have their own, it's not that they don't have their own identity, but that they can chameleon and like morph into the identity of someone else to be that mirror for someone else in the world. They're really powerful at like showing us who we really are and helping us get to the root of what's maybe keeping us or blocking us from ascending or getting to the higher plane. Reflectors are necessary, but it's a pretty tough job if you ask me. So that's probably why there's only 1% of them. Projectors are like the teachers. They are, they project into the world the big ideas and how to create them and make them come to life. The manifestors, which is what I am, we're about like 9% of the population. Projectors, I want to say, I think they're less than manifestors, but I can't remember the percentage if I'm honest. But manifestors, we are like the idea people. I guess in the past, we were like the kings and the queens. We create these, we initiate people into action. We create these big ideas and we birth them forth using our energetic system. And then the generators are those that actually bring the product to life. So it's like you need a generator to actually have anything in reality, to have anything come to fruition. Anything that is actually physically created and formed is because the generator was like, I'm going to get this done. I can do this. I have all the energy in my body and I can make it happen. So a manifesting generator is like a blend of both. They really operate more from the generator aspect, but they have this initiating power that allows them to actually like take initiative and just go for things, create big ideas, kind of pivot and plan, you know, in their in place, which to me, honestly, I'm like, man, I really wish I had that Manny Gen energy because I love being an initiator. I love birthing things into reality from my mind, you know, that's how CHS got birthed. I thought about it, I dreamed about it, totally like came down. And then I contacted Miriam and we like made this thing happen together over a year ago. And it's like incredible, right? But as a manifester, I run out of energy like really quickly. So this is kind of important because as we get to understand what our inner authority is and what your like where like your energy system kind of lies and like what kind of helps you produce your zhuzh or whatever, that's going to be helpful whenever you're doing this chart, whenever you're doing this vision board. Y'all, I need some more tea. This system can get very complicated really fast. So my only goal today is to expose you to it a little bit. You can do your own research on the back end. YouTube has a plethora of resources and there's so many other cool coaches out there. If you have a question or want to know a cool coach that I know of who's helping people learn more about their human design and who can read charts, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll totally hook you up with some of the people that I know that I've used. I've bought a chart before to, you know, get access, but it was interesting when I bought it, like I'd already done so much research myself that like I already knew what the chart said. I was looking for like a deeper dive, but it did propel me to find those answers on my own. And now I really, really know my chart pretty well, which is great. Okay, so for you on your own, hopefully you have a piece of paper handy, not just your piece of paper for to create your vision board or your poster board or whatever, but a piece of paper to take a few notes, because I just want you to be able to do this on your own. Obviously today, the goal is to get inspired, to get excited about creating this. And you might want to continue and finish it after we're done. I don't see us finishing it together right here, right now, right? So for your human design chart, the 5 things you're going to, when you see your chart, I want you to think about these like 5 pieces. What type are you? What is your profile, which is made up of 2 numbers? So I'm a 3-5. You might be a 1-4 or something like that. What your inner authority is. So inner authority, splenic is what mine is. There's emotional, there's ego, there's sacral. And then there's like non-authority, and that makes up a reflector most of the time, but it's only like 3% of the population, which is, you know, incredible. And then what your strategy is, that's really helpful when you're looking up your, like trying to understand your human design chart. And this is for you to Google on your own, to just learn more about it, to get to know who, like the way your chart operates. Those are great places to start so you don't get too overwhelmed. And then for the sake of what we're doing today, you're going to see that there are 4 arrows. You're going to pick the arrow that's on the far right side of the diagram, and it's the bottom. So the bottom right will either be pointing left or right. If you're pointing left, you're specific. If you're pointing right, you're non-specific. And that comes in handy whenever we're creating our vision board. Okay, hopefully you got it. If you need to pause this to kind of soak that in and keep writing, please do that now. All right. So one thing I also did one thing I told you to do is grab your colored crayons, right? Your colored markers, because to me, I like, you know, the more creative, the better. It's always so good to tap into our feminine, you know, and play with colors and tap into our inner child and just play a little bit. This is supposed to be super fun and exciting and like, you know, dreamy. So, you know, like right now we'll start with some fun colors. Maybe later you actually print out pictures, or you cut pictures up from magazines, or you put stickers or words of inspiration, or you stamp, or you paint it. Whatever feels the most inspired for you. This is about letting your freedom flag fly, you know, be your own unique person. And again, your human design chart might also kind of indicate what would speak to you the most, even though you can trust yourself to know what feels good. Okay. All right. So I picked 7 colors to go align with the chakra system. And the reason why I did this is because, first off, every time that I create a vision board, I don't do like a poster board anymore. I'm just lazy. But I find that I'm less lazy if I like at least play with colors. And with every single thing I manifest, or like what thing I'm putting on the vision board, I pick a color for it. And I use the same color over, like, I'll use the same color maybe 1 or 2 times, you know, 2 or 3 times or whatever. But I always pick a color. And if you know anything about color psychology, I know that me grabbing or being drawn to a certain color for a specific thing I'm visualizing or getting excited about has meaning and purpose. So I wanted to make it have even more meaning by helping you with that process, because you may not know color psychology, which is fine, but we can use the chakra system as an opportunity to explore that as well. Okay, so red is for the root chakra at the base of the spine. This deals with safety and security. So if there's anything that makes you feel like, and like that you're here, like groundedness, anything that makes you feel like grounded, makes you feel like safe, like secure. So I would say like maybe some money, like money manifestations, maybe put in red. Or if you're manifesting a home or something and you want it to feel safe and secure, or a partnership, you want to feel safe and secure, I would use red. Okay. Orange, which it kind of looks like a little bit like red, but it's orange. This one is for, this is the sacral. So the sacral is actually connected to creativity. And I would say it's the chakra of femininity as well. Just beautiful sexuality, sensuality, creativity. That's all birthed from the sacral chakra, which is like right below your belly button, in that little pocket right there where your, sex organs are technically. So anything that has to do with, again, like your creativity, things that are going to make you feel really creative and sensual. So a new wardrobe, maybe like a new experience that makes you feel really creative, or like something in your business, right? Or your career. I would use orange. Yellow is for the solar plexus, which is where we house our willpower. And that's like right, above our, it's actually like where our stomach is, we'll say, above our belly button, right in our stomach, like the center of ourselves. And this would be great for you to use for anything that has to do with like you feeling like personally in your power, feeling confident, feeling self-assured, and so I would use this for probably like business stuff, or maybe even like if I wanted to like do a speaking engagement, or if I wanted to maybe have confidence with in a relationship or with a family member. So anything that's going to make you feel confident, put it in yellow. Green is for the heart chakra. Of course, this is, to me, it's like everything flows from our heart. This is our deepest desires. So things that you really, really, really want, that you've just wanted for so long, that just feel like this beautiful longing that you've held, I would probably put it in green, okay? And we all know where the heart chakra is, right? It's right here. Blue is for the throat. So this also deals with personal power and confidence, but also truth and honesty. So I would say like really knowing your, like being truthful about who you are, your authenticity. So something that makes you feel really authentic, that allows you to speak your mind, that feels like very congruent to the essence of who you are. If it's something you want to visualize or whatever, put that in blue. Again, I hope you're taking notes. Then we have indigo, and that's for the third eye. And this is great for visualization. So those big dreams. So if you have something that's like very, unique to you, and you can see it, and it's just like our third eye like connects us to like the spiritual realm. So like maybe more spiritual things, like psychic things, things you want to manifest in your reality, because it's just like, it just feels like so clear. Like I would use blue. And then purple, again, is the crown chakra. And this is like connected to directly to our higher self. So anything that makes you feel like you are the next level version of yourself, that you are stepping into that part of yourself. So like my higher self, her name is Rich Rose. Okay. And Rich Rose is like living on this beautiful like house on the bay, and she and her husband have a boat, and like it's very materialistic for some of it, because again, I'm a Taurus, but she's just like living in her fullness. And I would put anything like that I wanted to manifest, in the next year, in purple. Okay. So again, if you need to take another break and pause, please do that. Write down these colors and allow yourself to kind of use them as an operating tool. We know that, again, like when you're doing, I'm not like a witchy kind of person, I'm more like Christian based or whatever. But I do know that a lot of people use like candles, certain candle colors to help with their manifestations, or to help them release things. So like black candles to help release or to create protection, white candles for cleansing, and purification. So think of like using these as that kind of purpose as well. All right, time for some tea. Okay. So let's get into it. So if your arrow is to the left, like mine, then you are a specific manifester. So remember right there, that arrow. And as a specific manifester, technically vision boards are really great for us. But as a specific manifester, I have learned that if I'm too, not that if I'm too specific, being specific is great, but if I'm too like obsessive about the specifics of my manifestation, then it takes a really long time to manifest, which is probably why Spain hasn't come yet. Okay. Oh, it's a problem. Anyway, so if you are a specific manifester, vision boards work really great because you can be very clear and very specific and all the things, but there's a way for you to also do a really wonderful vision board if you're non-specific. And it's funny because I feel like, if I'm honest with myself, I feel like I'm specific because I end up getting very specific details that manifest into my reality that I didn't even articulate, but it was something that I thought of that I knew that I wanted. So for example, before I moved into this house, so my colors were technically teal in every other house we lived in, and this house already had teal in the office. So that was something that was kind of out there. I did not expect. But one thing that I didn't know, because we bought this house in February of last year, I love hydrangeas. Since we moved to Rhode Island, hydrangeas are the most beautiful things ever. And as God would have it, we have like our entire like side fence and our entire walkway in the front is all lined with beautiful blue, purple, and white hydrangeas. And I didn't even have to say it out loud. And so that was something that was such, we'll say, like a heart's desire, like a longing, a green, that I wasn't even like clear about in a vision board because I didn't have that kind of clarity about what kind of house I wanted. Or like at least what the lawn looked like, right? And I'll be damned. I got a whole thing of hydrangeas. So what was cool about that is that it tells me that I'm specific, but if there's an obsession about it, then it doesn't come into my reality. Like I really create a lot of resistance with any obsession. So if that's kind of you, where you find that the things you really, 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 really want take a long time to manifest in the reality, then you're going to want to like maybe put this, you're going to want to create it and then maybe put it away and like try not to think about it. Or maybe you open yourself up to explore the opportunities of being maybe specific in mind, but not obsessive. And then doing this other way of creating a vision board for non-specific manifestors, which is focusing on the feeling. So this is why these colors kind of came into play as well, because, you know, when you want something to make you feel confident and powerful, you want to use this. If you want something to make you feel creative and unique, then you use the orange one. If you want something to make you feel safe and secure, then you use the red, right? If you have big travel plans and you can see yourself being somewhere, you know, then you use the purple, the indigo. So this is why, like, this is a way for non-specific manifestors to use the technique and the tool of vision board creation, have fun and play and still kind of dream without feeling like they need to be very specific. So I've done both. I've created both, and both tend to work for me pretty well. Like the last vision board, the first vision board I ever made was like in 2017, before we even moved out here. That's like a whole story. But what was so cool about it is that I was specific. I put it in my closet. I think I created it in like June. And then by like October, like half the board was already fulfilled without me even trying or looking at it again, because I wasn't obsessive, right? So I put it somewhere where I didn't see it all the time. And then like over the last year, I made a more non-specific one. This was before I knew that I was a specific manifestor. Oops. There's supposed to be a storm. It's probably a storm warning. We're getting snow tomorrow, coming in tonight, I think. Anyway, so when I found out that I was a specific manifestor, then this was before I found out that I was a specific manifester. So I tried a different approach. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do it from just based off of feeling. Like, what do I want to feel? Like when you're manifesting, it's about the feeling anyway. So I want to feel generous. I want to feel adventurous. I want to feel creative. I want to feel sexy. Like that's what I kind of was focusing on. And I put like a few things underneath, like I wrote out like adventure, and then I put like what it was that I thought would make me feel adventurous underneath that category. And that tended to work too. But what was interesting is that I think in both situations, I still was specific about what I thought would make me feel adventurous. So as a non-specific manifester, and not even, sorry, even though everyone manifests, let me just say that. So you either manifest specifically or non-specifically. I just happen to be a manifestor type, but generators manifest like crazy. Reflectors manifest, projectors, Mani-gens, everyone. I don't think I was clear about that. So just because I'm saying a specific manifester, we're talking about everyone, not just like me as an energy type. This belongs to everyone. So if you're a non-specific manifester, then it works in your behavior. It works in your favor not to be clear or specific, because the universe already knows what you want better than you even want it. And so when it shows up, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this is what I wanted. I didn't even know this is what I was supposed to ask for. This is amazing. And it won't even like, you don't have to be specific to get what you desire. Because it's really, to me, it's like the universe is really operating under like with your subconscious, is really like working with your subconscious to produce the things that you want in reality. Okay, so that was a mouthful. Again, let's take another pause for a drink break. Okay. So the other thing that I think will help you when you're creating your vision board using human design is to look at your inner authority. So why I think this is important too. So again, there's your inner authority. So as a splenic inner authority, my spleen tells me like immediately, one time, what's for me and what's not for me. Now I can either choose to listen or not. More often than not, I don't listen. Because the spleen is so quiet. It's a quiet, soft, it's like, and then it fades and it goes away and it's like, well, I told you. She's a cheeky little bugger, isn't she? The more I've gotten to understand this, the more I've started to trust my my inner knowing, my inner authority, like just being like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that, and just like trusting that voice. And so when you're creating your vision board, if you are splenic or however your inner authority is, you're going to want to use that to your advantage. So as a splenic, if you're like, oh yes, Spain, or maybe it's like something different. It's like, oh man, I just, Paris feels so good right now. I want to do Paris, right? Or Africa. I want to go to that awesome hotel and feed the giraffes, or I don't know, go on a safari, right? Visit some family in the Congo. I don't know. I did that for some reason. I said the Congo. And it's probably because Miriam's family's from the Congo, and I just so fascinated by the Congolese. So cool. And sorry, I totally got sidetracked. So just knowing like what your inner authority is kind of like pushing you towards is going to yield you the greatest outcome. It's going to make you really be very unique and specific with your vision board, not just putting things on there because you saw somebody on TikTok had it, or you saw somebody on Instagram like went on a trip to Costa Rica. Like you're not doing that because of that, even though it looks beautiful. Maybe you would much prefer to be in a cabin in Vermont, right? And trusting that inner authority. So as an emotional authority, which makes up about 47%, this one kind of operates on the solar plexus. And this is where you're going to want to put a pin in it. So for you with an emotional authority, I would say maybe write down some things in pencil first, and just kind of look at it, or have maybe do your first draft. Give yourself about 24 hours to really feel into it and see if that's really what you want. Like as an emotional authority, you need about 24 hours to go through the cycle of emotion. So you're going to be like, oh my gosh, So you think, oh, this is amazing. I can have this. I'm so excited. And then all the reasons why you can't have it are going to come up, why you don't think you're deserving of it, why it's not supposed to be for you is going to come up, like all these different things. And it's going to like, that's just kind of the process of an emotional authority. So then once all that subsides, then you have the clarity and you drop in so heavily and you just know, and you're just so sure because you've felt it all. And then you're clear, and then you can be really clear. So again, with emotional authority, like maybe write it in pencil or do a rough draft. And then after that, do your final copy after 24 hours has passed. And you're like, oh yeah, that's great. Or maybe I should tweak this here and there. I think this is what I actually was looking for. This is what I actually want to visualize. Because what we know to be true about the universe is that you get what you ask for. But if you're not clear, you know, even as a non-specific manifester, like you have to be clear about the feeling that you want, right? I want to feel empowered. I want to feel vibrant. I want to feel in control or whatever. If you're not clear about what that is, for a specific manifestor, I want to walk the streets of Spain, specifically Madrid, maybe Barcelona. Barcelona came up first. So Barcelona, got to follow that inner authority. And I want to sip wine on the streets, and I want to be outside at midnight and watching some Spanish guitar. Like I have a very clear picture of this. I cannot wait. It's coming. Eric is obviously going to be there too. You know, I ain't leaving him. And so just knowing what your inner authority wants and like really holding on to that and being very clear based off of your specific or non-specific, you know, style will really help you create this vision board. So another one, if you're sacral is like the gut, and that's about 35% of the population. And the gut response is like, so if you make a lot of like noises like that, like yeah, that's because it's a gut response, and your gut is telling you, yes, go for it, or no, stay away. And sacrals actually work really well with yes, no questions. So if you were to say yes, if you were to say yes, if you were to say, do I feel like I want to go to Paris? No. Do I feel like I want to go to Spain? Yes. You know, you can ask yourself yes, no questions to help you get more specific or more clear about what you want to write on your vision board. And yes, I know this is getting really detailed, but the reason why is because these vision boards come true, y'all. Like every single vision board I've ever written, like that shit manifests, and it manifests really fast. And like, I'm still like so shocked by how fast some of these things come into my reality. So it's like, if I want to be a conscious creator, then I need to be more conscious about even the simple process of writing down my visions. And being very clear about what I want. I deserve to know what I want. I deserve to think about what I want. And there are so many of us out there who have been struggling, even believing that we're allowed to, or we're capable of dreaming bigger for ourselves, but we all are. And so that's why there's so many pieces to this that I want you to understand, and I want you to use if it feels good, and the whole thing. Okay, so another one is the ego inner authority, and this makes about 4% of the population. And as an ego inner authority, you want to ask yourself, like, do you have the energy? Do you really have the energy to make this happen? Do you really have the energy to like really experience this reality? Do you really have that energy? Because you could say that you want, I don't know, maybe you're trying to manifest 3 babies. Maybe you want twins or triplets, okay? And you're like, wait a second, do I really have the energy to like handle triplets? No, let's scroll it back down to 1 baby first. We'll just start with 1 baby, but maybe I want 3 babies overall. Start with 1, okay? So that's what the ego would be very helpful for, is just like, do I really have the energy for that? And then, because like for non-specific manifestors, say we use the baby example, maybe you're just like, I want to be a mother. And you could become a mom it'll be for your highest good, your greatest joy, if you're non-specific. But like maybe you're not a biological mom. Maybe you adopt kids, or you foster children, or maybe you're a dog mom, or you know what I mean? Like there could be so many other ways that you become a mother. Maybe you inherit like a kid from someone else's family or something or whatever. So no matter what it is, you just don't have to be specific. Your soul already knows what's like going to be the greatest outcome for you. So you don't have to be that clear versus someone like me. I mean, like, I want to be a mom to a biological child that comes in at age 3. I don't know, the idea of birthing babies. I don't know, I'm not there yet. Anyway, so yeah, so that's how we use our inner authority to determine how to really get down with our vision board. Another thing that I think is helpful is like to give yourself some categories. So I like about so I'll tell you the categories that I typically use. So family, travel, spirituality, career, finances, love, we'll say love and relationship, right? Personal growth, like opportunities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like there were 9. That's a good place to start. Maybe friendships. And kind of having some categories to help me, for me to get more specific about what I want from these categories, you know, the way I want to like feel. Oh, maybe like, so personal growth, but then maybe like body image. I think that that's important too. How do you want to like, how do you want to see yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you want to dress? How do you want to feel in your body? Like all of those things, like the whole self-love, self-esteem kind of vibe. But having categories to me helps me create more, like it helps me get more clear about what I want versus just being like, what do I want? You know, like, okay, I want a boat, but like, do I really need a boat for 2022? I mean, if it's possible, why not? Fuck it, yeah. I live in the ocean now, so of course I want a boat if I can have it. But is it like really? Is it really what I want at like from these categories? And I believe that you can really have anything, but just knowing what aligns with you well. So again, as my splenic authority, it doesn't really align with me right now to be just willy-nilly putting a boat on my vision board when there's something that's more important, like how do I see my family in 2022? What do I want from that? What would feel really good? What would make me feel safe or secure or confident in that specific, you know, where do I want to go? How do I see my spirituality taking off and growing? So yeah, so then those are some ways that I like to do this. So, you know, this is like it's kind of different, right? To go at your vision board from this intensity. Another idea I had, because when I was like pulling out some stuff, I was like, oh, it'd be really cool. So for those of you who may have obsessive thoughts, then maybe you need a little envelope. And what I thought would be cool for this is that you could do one of two things. So first, you could actually you could actually put your categories and stuff like on the front of the envelope, right? Everything that you want to manifest for this year. And I believe it's like good to like be specific. So let's just focus on this year. You know, you can update or recreate a new one, you know, heck, in the half the year if you want to. Say you like met all your goals and maybe you create a new one whenever, you know, the half the year is up, or you just wait until next year for 2023. But so you could write your visions on the front, and then you could use in here to fill it with like gratitude. right? So you like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful that this is already here. I'm so grateful that it gets to get better than this. I'm so grateful that I get to experience the reality of my manifestations in 3D. I'm so grateful that this is real for me. I'm so grateful that you love me and trust me with these beautiful gifts. I'm so grateful, right? And so this could be like just really beefing up those manifestations, right? So not only are you looking at them and getting them into your subconscious, but you're already feeding the energy behind manifestation so that it can come into your reality sooner. So that was something I just thought of, like Rose right here. Another option is that if you're obsessive, then maybe you put your manifestation inside of here. And then maybe on the envelope, you write, I'm so grateful that these manifestations are coming true. I'm so grateful that I get to experience this in reality. I'm so grateful that I get to dream really big and it's not, it's not wrong. I'm so grateful, whatever. So that could be another way to use maybe an envelope to help you facilitate the pressure of like making these things come into reality right here, right now, or else, which again, I can kind of get caught up in. Maybe you don't, so good for you if you don't, but I definitely do. I just want what I want. I can't help it. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, again, this is like a whole lot. And I hope that it like inspired you to take this whole vision board experience, this whole vision board creation to like the next level, to a whole new experience of what it means to be in relationship with yourself and in relationship with what your dreams are and what you want and what you get to have. Because you do get to have it all. You get to have any and all of this. There's so many examples out there that prove to us that it's possible. And I don't know about you, but my goal is to be one of those living proofs for you and for the world and for whomever, right? So girl, guy, whoever watching this, non-binary, you enjoy your 2022 year and dream as big as possible and let it just fill your whole world or your whole heart, and it gets to come true. The end. All right, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, if you have any questions, you can message me or email me at hello@BrittanyRoseGreen.com. Check out my website, BrittanyRoseGreen.com. You will find information about our membership Ignited in there. You will also find information about how to schedule a free consultation call, a little mini session with me to get more clarity about where you're headed and what maybe would be the best route to get there. I love you. Thank you. And have a great day.